some of the missteps I think that I've noticed in pastors as they go into new places, I think number one is they try to create a church that they want in their mind and heart rather than pastor the church that God has given them. And my encouragement to them would just to be slow down. You know, when we go somewhere, prayerfully, we're going for the long haul. You know, there's some pastorates that we enter into and we know this is probably not going to be the final place that we end up, but our mindset and heart ought to be that this is where I'm going to be, and for the time and season that God has me here, I'm going to be faithful to love the people and to pastor the church that God has given me. And I think if you play it over the course of years, it'll ultimately become the church that God has placed in your mind and heart. But don't try to do too much too soon. There's a leadership axiom that I live by that goes something like this, that longevity plus humility plus faithfulness equals increased leadership and influence. Now, from a pastor standpoint, when you come in as the pastor, from a positional standpoint, you have you have increased leadership and influence because of your title, because of your role. But at the end of the day, you can't really affect things if you're not humble, understanding you're not the smartest person in the room, and putting good people around you. If you haven't been there for a long time, again, you don't know the power players. You don't know why the church is doing certain things that they're doing. There could be a very good reason for it, and it takes time to uncover those things. And then faithfulness, doing a good job. If you do those three things, increased leadership and influence will be yours. And I think sometimes pastors come in thinking they've got to have all the answers. It goes back to, insecurity, trying to be somebody that they're not. They've got to have all the answers. They got to do these things. And ultimately what ends up happening is they fracture relationships and they don't take care of people. They're more concerned with, again, building a church in their purview as opposed to just pastoring the church that God gave them. And so I would really encourage pastors to make sure that they're slowing down, I think moving too fast. I know when I entered into my first year as pastor, one of the things that I wanted to do was preach good sermons and love the people. That was my goal. I can try to preach the paint off the wall and love people. I figured everything else would take care of itself. And God was really blessed me in that mindset. And part of that preaching good sermons was I sensed the Spirit of God telling me just in my own time alone with Him, hey, if you'll take care of the secret place, I'll take care of the sermon. So that goes back to time alone with the Lord, and you cover that time alone with the Lord. I mean, you don't prepare, you give yourself to the study and preaching of God's Word, but I feel like God downloads truth faster. He gives you a heart for your people. And if you'll do those two things, typically everything else will take care of itself.